I'm Scott Finnie, and I'm a professor at Eastern Washington University. I teach Africana Studies, senior professor there. Been teaching there since 1993, and I love what I do. I get paid to do my hobby because I'm trying to stir up young people to think critically. And nothing is better for context when it comes to understanding history and social science than the Black experience. And then I'm also the vice chair of the Northwest accreditation team. We look over 163 institutions with accreditation through several states and part of Canada. And then most recently, I'm the newest member on Gonzaga's Board of Trustees, and I'm excited to see what I can play in a way as a team member to make Gonzaga even more impactful than it already is, and center it on the students, because that's what life is all about. The young people's potential and capacity must be reached, and we are here to serve them. As we know, Dr. King gave his life to take care of this one sick problem in the United States, and that was racial segregation. But it was a process. It was a means to reach the beloved community. The beloved community is the container for social justice and human rights. It's the vessel that sustains it, that preserves it, and even causes it to flourish. And in my eyes, the beloved community is where every human being, in their potential and capacity, especially for the young people, have an unlimited door in front of them, and support and belief, and where differences are clearly affirmed rather than questioned or put in a suspect kind of condition. Because now we found out through history that differences are really a strength, and the more we have, the better. We used to look at differences as a liability as we look at the master narrative of what Eurocentrism has done in this country. But I think through time and through people like Dr. King, the beloved community is getting closer and closer. And we know Dr. King and Malcolm X both lived and breathed for this very one thing. And it's really, I think, out of Ephesians 4:16, that there's a verse that really brings out what the beloved community means. It states there that the building up of this beloved body of Christ, or this beloved community, is through the operation and measure of each one part. That means everyone has a capacity, has a potential that needs to be reached. And what we're here to do is to serve each other to reach that capacity. There's not one member and not one function within the beloved community that isn't meaningful and adds to the whole. And I think we're getting there, especially in the way of the potential of what the young people are providing. We just need to keep pushing through all the historical, systemic things that have held us down, and keep seeing that eventually that arc of justice, although it will bend toward justice in the end. You know, I would say this: consider what you can do as a servant leader. A servant leader, first of all, the number one characteristic is their potential is unleashed by listening. And we need to be a group of people who drop our perspective and honor the lives and the lived experience of others, even if it doesn't match up with ours, realizing that listening is much deeper than hearing. There's a lot of hearing going on, but not much listening. And listening will bring in a validation. People want to be validated, but they're hardly ever listened to. But once that spark of validation takes place from listening, then there'll be the trust, and that trust will follow through with what is called mutuality, and that mutuality is the foundation of the beloved community.